and welcome to our live trading session. What we're going to do today is we're going to trade the non-farm payrolls. The non-farm payrolls is due out in just about 10 minutes. We are on the 7th of November 2014 and we're going to be trading the DAX. Now, as you guys know, the DAX is one of the instruments that I trade quite a lot. I know that we teach you currency trading, but I thought it might be nice to put together a video where I show you what I do on the DAX and how I go about making money trading this particular instrument. This morning, so far, if we look over to the charts very quickly, this morning we've had a few trades. Okay, so we had one trade over here where I attempted to get short just around here at about 11:05. The market moved down a little bit and then it pulled back and I got taken out for a very small stop out over there, so for a small loss. Then the market went short again. I didn't attempt to get short in on this opportunity here because the market started to look a little bit sketchy. The price action really wasn't the best there, so sort of ignored this opportunity there, missed the market falling off a cliff, which is lovely. But then we got an opportunity on this pullback over here. So coming back just around midday, the market pulled back somewhat to our value zone. This is where I like to see the market pull back to. It's a nice pullback. We've got some nice momentum in the direction of the trend. Pull back to our value zones, and then I get the signal to enter there at about 12:05. We get in there at this level at 93.44 with our stop above at around 93.52. Is eventually where I placed my stop, and then we were able to come out with some really nice profit down here at the 93.30s level. This pullback, the subsequent pullback, I didn't get involved in because it was just too much of a pullback. It's also breaching the previous highs, and then this pullback over here was just recently, and we've got, we were in 30 minutes, within 30 minutes of the NFP, so decided not to take that opportunity. So now we're going to be waiting for the non-farm payrolls to come out. We will get trade the news, or we have trade the news on, so let's just turn the sound up there for us so we can listen to the, oops, they're talking, sorry, so I'll put that back on once I finish talking. But we'll put trade the news on, wait for the announcement and see what it is that we can trade. Okay, so I'll be back in about 6 minutes when the announcement's about to come out and we will see if we can make some profit. Okay, so speak to you soon. Okay, so we're just 1 or 2 minutes away from the release. As you can see, taking a look at the DAX has popped up a little bit.
Italy out speaking now, saying that the backing of financial transaction tax is confident.
Just listening to trade the news there, so
There will be an agreement by year end. We have heard from France and Austria earlier indicating as much.
Okay, so as I was saying, the DAX is up a little bit. At the moment, we are now 60 seconds-ish away from the announcement. I have my trading platform up over on this screen over here. You can't see that, but on the screen over here, we've got the charts up. The DAX has popped up a little bit. The unemployment numbers are predicted to come out around 236K. So
payrolls expected to 225,000, unemployment expected 5.9%.
We're not going to try to predict what happens. We will just follow the price action when the market starts to move. Now, trading the news can be very, very profitable, but it can also wound your account quite a lot if you don't know what you're doing. So remember, we're just going to follow the price action. We are not in any way going to try to predict the price action. If there's too much of a revision, if the numbers don't stack up, then we'll stay out altogether. But we are a few seconds away. Make sure trade the news is up.
$214,000 for payrolls below the 235 expected.
Below expected. Below expected.
Again, payrolls at 214,000 below 235,000 expected. Back month revised up to 256,000 from 248,000. Private payrolls 209,000 below the 225,000 expected, but back month revised a little bit higher. Hourly earnings at 0.1% is 1/10 lower than expected, and year over year at 2.0%, also 1/10 lower than expected. Weekly hours in line at 34.6, but back month rise down 1/10 to 34.5. Participation rate at 62.8% is a 1/10 uptick. In Canada, Unemployment at 6.5%, down sharply from 6.8% prior, below the 6.9% expectation. Net change in employment at 43,000 versus the minus 5,000 expected for Canada.
So we got a little pop down in the DAX.
1370 firmer by about 50 pips first data.
Wait to see what happens now. The DAX is moving up. If it can break out from the highs, then give us a pullback. We will be looking to get long.
So initially we saw some volatility.
Okay, potentially going long.
Moving low, whereas bond prices are firming up. Again, we did see a miss on the headline number, but the unemployment rate did drop 0.1%, and we saw a back month revision to the non-farm payrolls.
So as you heard there from Trade the News, the unemployment rate dropped and there's a revision.
Lower in U.S. Treasury yields, 2.36% in the benchmark 10-year.
Which is why we're seeing the positive. Which is why we're seeing the positive. Oh Lord, hold on. Which is why we're seeing the positive reaction on the DAX. So let's see. So as you can see, the market has moved up. It's broken through the highs. We're now waiting for a pullback. If we get the pullback, we will then buy the pullback. It's looking most likely at the moment we'll get the pullback on the 4 range chart.
So mixed bag here in the U.S. employment report.
So now we have to wait for the market to come to us. But we need to be ready because these things can be quite quick. So when the market pulls back and it decides it's going to move back up again, you can literally just have a second or two to get into the trade. We want to see the market pull back ideally to around the 93.56 type level, around that area here. And then we'd be happy to take a trade to the upside. Market's pulling back nicely. As I mentioned earlier, we were most likely to get the trade on the 4 or the 6 range, and it's the 4 range that's setting up at this moment in time. Get the platform ready for a buy. Ready, I've got to pull the trigger, like a little bit more of a pullback. That's fine around there. So if we now get the opportunity to go long, we will take it. Okay, that pullback's a little bit too aggressive on the 4 range. So I'm now switching to the 6. On the 4 range, that's too aggressive. I'm not looking to get involved in a buy there because this pullback's broken through the averages. It's broken through on the 6 range as well. The market's decided it wants to go lower. So in this instance here, I'm not interested in a buy anymore. I'm no longer interested in a buy because the momentum going against this trade is just far too great. So we're going to wait and see what the markets do over the next few minutes. But at the moment, we are not looking for a buy opportunity. The market's messing around with these lows here. It looks like the market's going to break through. If it breaks through here, we'll then see some momentum to the downside. I don't really care which side we see the momentum to be honest, as long as we get the momentum and a decent looking pullback. At the moment, as you can see from these setups here, this isn't ideally what we like to see. We like to see them move away from the moving averages. We like to see them move up and then pull back to sort of the value area. The fact that the markets have now breached through the 100 moving average at the bottom there shows us that really the momentum isn't with us at this moment in time.
Officials have said at the ECOFIN that Britain has halved the EU budget bill and delayed payment. Again, we're going to compromise on that issue.
So now, the life of a trader, we can't predict the markets, we can't tell them what to do, we just have to sit and wait for our opportunity to present itself. But during times like this, the market can move quite quickly, so once it decides to go on a bit of a tear, then we'll be in and out very quickly. So we'll sit and watch the markets for another few minutes.
Following the labor report above 11.50 in December, gold up about $20 from futures traded as high as 1588. We backed off to 1558, but up about 1% on the day, and off the 1504 overnight low for silver.
So the market's threatening to go higher now, but I don't want to take this trade here because it just doesn't.
Cents from where we were heading into the labor report, 87.87.
Because of the price action here, this doesn't yield great trades. I mean, obviously Sod's Law, this will go off and make money, but typically these sorts of setups here, they don't yield the best trades and your sort of best 50-50. So I'm staying out for the moment. I'm looking for a better opportunity to get long the market. Okay guys, well, rather than you sit here and watch me wait for the market to do something, what I'll do is I'll stop the recording now and I will come back just as soon as we get a setup, or it looks like a setup is imminent. But at this particular moment in time, the market is going high, but the opportunity just isn't there. The pullback was too aggressive for me. So basically looking, if you take a look at the 6 range chart here, we had a nice momentum move to the upside, which was great. But then we had an equal momentum move against it to the downside. So that tells me that no side is really in control here. And when there isn't one side that's in control, it just makes it a little bit of a dangerous market. So for that reason there, I'm going to stay out of this trade for the moment, and I will come back to you just as soon as something sets up. Okay, so speak to you all in a minute. Okay, girls and boys, so we are back trading the non-farm payrolls. As you can see, I left you back at about 20 to 2. It's been about 20 minutes since we signed off the video. Since then, the market's attempted to move up a little bit. I said that we weren't interested in this particular move here because the price action just wasn't right. So now what we have is the market has broken through some lows. The market's broken through those lows there, and now it's toying. Hold on 1 second. If it breaks through, I will be short. I'm short now. The market has broken through these lows here. It was broken, these ones to the left there, sorry. It then hovered around that area and gave us a nice little ledge from which we wanted to sell. We then wanted to get in there on the short side, and we are short from 93.38 as the market broke through that level, and we're just waiting, hoping for some momentum to the downside and then possibly another pullback from which we can add to our position. As I mentioned to you just a few moments ago, or 30 minutes ago from a time perspective, but on this video, because we've got the magic of editing, just a few moments ago, we weren't looking to get long because the market looked a little bit labored. There was just as much momentum going against our move as there was going with it, and for that reason we just didn't want to be involved in those moves there. The market then broke through, played with the lows, and has since broken through this low here. So we're pretty much expecting momentum to the downside. If we can then get that momentum, I'll then be looking for another pullback from which I can then add to the position and sell again. So let's wait and see what the market does for us in the coming moments or minutes. Now the nice thing about the DAX, or the thing that I like about the DAX, is that when you get to move, when the market decides to move, it does so really quite quickly. So for the most part, obviously today will be different because we're doing a recording, but for the most part, you don't have to hang around too much before you see what becomes of your position. But usually when the market breaks through these lows like this, you then get quite a significant move to the downside, which is starting to do.
We're about 25 minutes now from the U.S. cash equity open and equity markets giving some ground here into the open.
So we've got
back in negative territory.
We've got about 6 points on the trade here so far.
The range for the day down about 0.9% in the Euro stocks. The notable outperformer would be the FTSE 100.
6 points so far, although the move is getting a little bit labored. I think if the market doesn't manage to break through these lows and go towards break through the 30 level, then we'll take some money off the table. And then just wait for the pullback or wait for the momentum move. The market's pulling back a little bit. Hopefully we'll get an opportunity to add to our position here. Stop's just above the highs there. So we've got a little bit of room before the market turns around and stops us out. But typically the market won't reach up there. It'll give us a nice little pullback and then we can add to the position. Okay, so we have a little bit of a pullback here. It's not really enough of a pullback for me to want to get into it. So it might be another case of selling through the lows, because this sort of a pullback here, usually when you're getting a pullback, you want it all to be in proportion. And this pullback isn't really enough. So we might have another attempt at selling through the lows here rather than selling on the pullback. But I really want to see the market get through the lows because it has been struggling with it. So get the order out, open, ready. The order's ready there. If we can get through 32, I'll be short again. And it's through and we're short. Okay, so now we've got two positions on. We've got 10 points on the first one. We've got about three and a half points on the second one there. The market's moving further down. Have to be a little bit patient. Love to see it down towards the sort of like the 93.20 level. But the good news is that we've locked in a nice little bit of profit so far. So if we can see the market move further down towards the 93.20s, that's around that sort of area there, that's where we'll look to take our profit off on both positions. DAX has been a little bit more laboured today than it has been over the past sort of few months or few weeks rather. It does go through periods like this. It's been a big data week out, so this week, well, Thursday, Wednesday a little bit, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday has been a little bit harder work. It's been a little bit more difficult to be able to extract our profits. They haven't been as quick as you would like the moves, but making profit nonetheless. Okay, the market's through the level. It's through the 98 level. That's what we like. 28 level which it was struggling. It's down towards 26. Taking into account this distinct lack of momentum in the markets, we're certainly going to take our profits off the table around these lows. In fact, coming down to the 90.20 level, I'm going to close up both positions. Okay, so we are out of both of those positions at 93.23. We got into the first one up here at 93.42, no, so not 93.42, through these lows here at the 93.38 level. Second position we got in when we sold through these lows here at 32, and we got out eventually of both of them at 23. So the first position we took about 15 pips from, the second position just under 9 pips, and sod's law as always. We got out a little bit too early. The market has since crashed through the floor and it's down towards the 93.09, but that's fine. That's not a problem because we were able to take our profits off the table. So the rest of my afternoon now, I'm going to be looking for another pullback in this market here. We've got nice momentum there, so if we can get a pullback from the 93.05 back towards the 93.28, that's where I'll be looking to take my next position. But otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed. One second, just let trade the news, just be quiet for a second. I hope you've enjoyed watching us trade the non-farm payrolls. I hope it's been educational for you, and I look forward to doing more of these and seeing you all on other videos. So thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you all again very, very soon. Take care now.